Oh wait, I'm gonna need the racket for this. Thanks. Hi, I'm Seb Proisy, and thanks to tennis majors in all their videos, you can find out everything there is to know about tennis equipment. We'll tell you what the pros use to be at their best and what you should use to have the most fun and win the most matches. We're conducting all our tests in a completely independent manner, which means we're not tied to any brand. Today we'll be discussing racket stiffness, head size, and length. Racket stiffness refers to how much or how little your racket will bend during an impact. The stiffer the racket, the less it will bend. In a way, it is similar to the trampoline effect of the strings we discussed earlier in our previous episode. However, unlike the strings, a racket bending on impact does not return to its original shape until after the ball has left your racket. This concept is very important to understand because it is the source of many misconceptions when it comes to racket stiffness. So to be clear, a stiffer racket will bend less and deflect more power to the ball while also adding more shock to your arm. In contrast, a more flexible racket will absorb more energy and therefore result in a loss of power. But on the good side, it will also send less shock to your arm. Just like with the tension, racket stiffness should only be compared when all other racket specs are equal. Racket head size also plays an important role when it comes to power. The trampoline effect can also be used to understand how head size affects the power. All other things being equal, a larger trampoline will have more spring and therefore allow you to jump higher than a smaller trampoline. Similarly, a larger racket head, oh wait, I'm gonna need the racket for this. A larger racket head will allow the ball to sink deeper into the string and therefore result in more power than a racket with a smaller head size. And we're on a new court. In 2014, Roger Federer decided to switch to a bigger head size to help his backhand deal more damage against players like Rafa Nadal, who would relentlessly attack his backhand. While this change also affected his forehand negatively because he was less consistent, he was able to adjust to the added power and was able to find ways to finally beat Rafa. So now let's talk about racket length. Racket, please. Racket length is another factor to consider when choosing a racket. While most brands offer rackets that are 68.5, some brands like Babolat offer longer versions of the racket by adding 1.5 centimeters. Some players in the past, like Michael Chang, David Ferrer, Marion Bartoli, used even longer rackets. But nowadays, it's very rare to find players who use rackets that are longer than 70 centimeters. Some of the benefits of using a longer racket include reach, in that it allows you to hit balls that are farther away from your body. This is especially helpful in the serve because it allows you to hit the ball higher. Similarly, a longer racket also allows for more power because it provides you with more leverage. The biggest downside of using a longer racket is that it is more difficult to maneuver. This is especially problematic when hitting volleys because the swing needs to be more compact and the ball is hit much closer to the body. This is why players who serve in volley don't usually use longer rackets. However, some doubles players do use longer rackets and often resolve to holding their racket higher up on the grip when they're at the net, while still maintaining the added benefits on their serves. So this is the end of our video. If you like this episode, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in our next episode. Racket, please. Olé! Encore!